everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm sitting in a room with 4 fucking amazing builders, and I am so excited that we get to sit here and have this amazing roundtable. So this roundtable is just specifically meant for builders. So thank you so much for everyone who wanted to be here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, no, of course. Now I do want to say this, that it is 100% Simbuildboy. He messaged me. He's like, I think we should do a roundtable for builders. And I'm like, yes, that is a fantastic idea. So thank you so much for the suggestion. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very excited for this call.
Thank you for organizing it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for the idea. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to introduce ourselves, and I will always go last. So Panda Builds, why don't you go first?
Hi, I was hoping to not be the first one. Okay. My name is Anya. I'm from Serbia. I'm 26 years old. Yeah, I turned 26 2 weeks ago and I'm really sad about it. Yeah, and I've been playing Sims since I was 12, I think, or something like that. And yeah, Sims 2 was my first game ever. And as I said to you in our Simmer Spotlight, my first house was yellow, and that's all that I remember about it. Or I remember more. It had 2 stories, and Sims 2 outer roofing was not my best friend. Because I had one bump out that was not possible to be roofed, and I then back. Okay, sorry. I started playing The Sims for real 2 or 3 years ago. I got really into it when the Island Living came out, and that's my favorite expansion. Maybe we're gonna talk about that later. But I was caught on it when the Island Living came out, and I was building in Solani and nothing else. And after that, I decided maybe I should start posting my builds on Instagram and on YouTube eventually. And here I am.
No, I love that. Okay, I meant to ask you this, and I've said this a couple of times now. Like, we're all on Simstagram. Can we just take a minute and just appreciate the wild beast of what Simstagram truly is? Because there's fantastic builds and fantastic casts. And I've said this, nothing can prepare you for the amount of Sims porn you're going to see. Like, literally nothing. But like the first time I've ever seen, like, again, I think it was Rory I was telling, like the day one of me, being on Simstagram, 2 naked ladies fighting with double-ended dildos was like picture 3 is what I saw. I'm like, what did I just sign myself up for? And I think this is definitely a perfect segue to Simbuildboys. I definitely want to hear your Simmer story and just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Simbuildboy. I've been playing and building since Sims came out, to be fair, so I'm quite old. Obviously, happy birthday, Anna. I'm actually recently turned 33, so that's a bit more scary, I'd say. I played it to kind of build and play back in like 2001, and then life kind of took over and kind of put it down. There was little times where I'd load up Sims 1, and probably at that point 2 or 3 were Sims 2 or Sims 3 was out. And then I think it was the beginning of lockdown. I think I saw an advert somewhere, or I clocked onto Sims Instagram page or something, and I was like, oh, I'm working from home. I'm working like 3 hours a day because of the pandemic. Can't go anywhere, can't leave the house. I don't have a garden. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I was like, cool. So then I bought Sims 4, and because I was kind of on, like I knew Simstagram was a thing because that's how I found out about Sims 4. I kind of got more into just the building, like, because building is very different to Sims 1. You can just do so much more. So, that's what I kind of really like to do is just to build. And then, I just carried on and I haven't stopped. Well, I have big breaks and stuff, but that's little. Oh, and I'm from London, working wealth banking. That's it.
No, that's awesome. Again, welcome back. I really enjoyed our summer spotlight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still fangirling over everything you do. I really do like your New Orleans builds, and I'm gonna have to DM you after this because I was just contracted out to build a New Orleans build, and I have zero knowledge of anything. Like I had to Google it, and I'm like, I don't know. But you know who does know? Simbuildboys would know. Exactly.
I don't know anything. I have this big thing that I just want to like redo every world based on what the world was built after. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting at the beginning with Willow Creek and it's based on New Orleans. So I'm just trying to do, it's just like, I know nothing about New Orleans, never been or anything, but I was just Pinterest, Instagram, like take bits and pieces and also try not build the same house on every lot. That's the difficult thing. Mm-hmm. But also they need to kind of still fit together. But yeah, I'll give you some pointers.
Yes, no, I definitely need some pointers. Artie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
Hello, my name is Artie. I started playing Sims around 2001 or 2002. Did I say 2001 before?
Yes, I think you last night you said 2001. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's around 2001. I was 12, so I think I'm the oldest one here. I'm 34 this year. I will be 34 this year. So yeah, my first The Sims was The Sims Hot Date. A bit raunchy, right? For 14, 12 years old boy playing The Sims Hot Date. So actually I've played The Sims 4, just like Paul, right in the beginning of the pandemic because I was just finished my PhD around the same time. So I couldn't find a job during the pandemic. So I started doing the Instagram. Yeah, that is my story, I guess.
No, that's awesome. And Artie, I mean, I commended you last night and I will continue to commend you. Your builds are so fucking amazing. I know. I promise I'll get off my high horse, but they're so creative and they're so out of the box, which makes you just stand out. Again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And Rory, last but certainly not least, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Sims history?
So my name is Rory. My journey on Simstagram sort of started after I had a very, very quick conversation with Stassi, and she pushed me to do it, which is it's been a really, really good journey. So it's only been a few months really. I think I set it up just before Christmas. But yeah, it's been brilliant to be part of the community. But I started playing, so I'm 27, I'm just about to turn 28. I live down on the south coast of England. I started playing The Sims with The Sims 1. Stassi, I think we had this conversation where I was allowed to play it for about half an hour after school every single day, and that was all my mum would let me do. And there was one day where I booted up the computer to play, and there was like this little blue icon on the screen, and I was like, have we got the internet? And mum was like, and I was really excited about that. But yeah, so I played The Sims 1, mainly made houses that were squares with big pointy roofs. I played The Sims 2, mainly made houses that were squares with big pointy roofs. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I remembered the other day I used to download a lot of custom content for The Sims 2, but mainly, weirdly, downloading like celebrity lookalike Sims. I remember I was speaking with my friends about it the other day. I remember like people used to make like Sims 2 music videos. And for some reason, it just reminded me about how much I love Avril Lavigne. Sims 3, I didn't really play too much of The Sims 3, but then Sims 4 came out and I actually went and bought it at midnight from Game. I was probably, I don't know how old I was. I can't remember, 8 years ago. So I was about 20. But then I didn't have any expansion packs until... expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs until the pandemic started. And then really, just started playing casually. And then that's when I touched base with Stassi last summer. And then started building. But again, even when I spoke to Stassi last year, I was still building square houses with big pointy roofs. So I feel like I've come a long way. I've still really got a long way to go. But yeah, no, it's just been really, really nice to get a bit more creative. Yeah, it's just been super busy recently because I've just got a new job. So I haven't really had a chance to sit down and play for a couple of weeks. But yeah, that's my Sims journey.
Oh my gosh, Rory. I want to say this. You were my first ever roundtable, and it was just me and you a year ago.
Game pack refreshes.
Game pack refresh. And look at us almost a year later. Like, my God. Anyways.
Gone very fast.
It has gone fast. I feel like 2021 was the fastest, slowest year ever. I'd like to confidently say that. It was so long, but so quick. Anyways, last but not least, hi, my name's Stassi. I know I have been playing The Sims since 2003. I'm an OG Simmer. I was 10. I will be 29 in August, which makes me feel one step closer to being older every day. My boss called me an old bat this week when she realized that I was going to be closer to 30, because when they hired me, I was 27. No, I was 26. I was 25 going on to 26. My God, time really does fly. Anyways, I'm an OG Simmer. I was a builder my entire life. I built. If I wasn't building, I made my high school boyfriends in The Sims. And when they dumped me, I brutally murdered them in any way, shape, or form I seemed fit at the time. But now I really just focus a lot more on cast and storytelling, which does require me to have builds. And I want to shout out Rory because I used one of his builds in an upcoming chapter, and your house was so beautiful. It's exactly what I needed. So thank you so much for letting me use your build.
I really stressed out when you messaged me because you messaged me saying, "Can I use one of your builds on the Rose Chronicles?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Which one?" And you said it was like the mid-size American Suburban.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's not on my gallery. How's she seen that?" but it was on there, especially for you.
Yeah, no, because that's what I was looking for, and I was just like, "This is perfect." I have learned this while doing Rose Chronicles. Don't do everything. Ask an expert to use their stuff, and then give them credit because it's less stressful. But I love the house. I think you're not going to see it for a while. I don't think it's. No, you might see it this month or next, but I don't know. I'm like 20 chapters ahead now because I do 2 chapters a week. But anyways, let's get this started. So as a roundtable, Simbuildboy has graciously given me a list of questions that we definitely want to talk about. I have a couple ones here. I got a couple curveballs I'm going to save closer to the end because, I mean, why not at this point? I definitely want to start off with, so Q1, we're almost at the end of Q1. I think Q1 would end probably April 1st. They had said that there is going to be 2 kits and a game pack. Obviously, we know one kit has come out and one game pack has come out. We will talk about my wedding stuff pack a little bit later. But what do you guys think the next kit is going to be?
Well, I would say hopefully a build kit, because we've had a lot of cast kits, and the wedding stories was more about gameplay, really. I know we've got a gorgeous new world, but build and buy wasn't that extensive. So yeah, I'm hoping for, I read some things about it, and there is like one little phrase, something about something to the max, and there was something similar in a previous Sims. So it might be some like really edgy furniture, possibly. Mm-hmm. That's what I think it's likely to be. Obviously, I know what I would want, but in a kit. But yeah, that's what I think it might be. I don't know if anyone else. RD?
Yep, agree.
Yeah,
I forgot if they release another cast. No. No. No
more casts.
No more. Like, no more.
Okay.
I think I'm on the same sort of side of the fence as Simbuildboy and RD, with hoping that it is going to be focused more on building. Because like they say, we've seen gameplay ones that aren't, for me, very appealing. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get sort of like, I know it won't be expansive if it's a kit, but yeah, hopefully a bit more options for us.
Yeah, I need some like new beds or like sofas. I mean, I know we've got the Dream Home Decorator like corner sofas, which are good, but apart from that, like it's so hard picking sofas and beds for like rooms. I'm like, I don't want to keep picking the same sofa and bed all the time. So yeah, that'd be nice.
And that's something that me and Stassi spoke about, was the fact that although Dream Home Decorator was like brilliant and like it is a really, really good pack, it still feels quite limited because yes, they gave us the sort of corner modular sofas and then some modular desks and storage units. They still feel quite limited because it's either have a square looking one or have a rounded looking one. So it would just be good to sort of expand on potentially that modular building.
Yeah, and there's like no pillows and things like that. So sometimes it can just look a bit cold. So it'd be a bit like Paranormal, where they've got the sofas with the pillows and the throws over them. I love that pack. So yeah, hopefully something more like that.
Okay. Panda Builds, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be something build or gameplay related, because I think we got like 12 kits, right? And we only have country kitchen and Oasis courtyard or whatever, and the blooming rooms that are build and buy related, and all of the others are CAS. And yeah, I think the CAS deserves some attention, much more than other parts of the game, because it really lacks. But enough with the kids. We need something to.
I agree. Me and Panda Builds were just saying, like, I never thought we would miss stuff packs as much as I do right now. Like I would give my left arm for a stuff pack at this point, like literally something other than the same kits. Now, what I think the next kit might be is what I'm actually hoping for is a clutter kit. I would shit my pants if we could have pillows, blankets, like actual decor that's not in Debug and like can actually change the color and shit. Like that's what I'm looking for. Like I want like kitchen clutter that's not like these junky like sugar pots and shit. Like it's so junky looking. But again, I've literally downloading CC for pillows. Like that's like, I don't understand. Like we can like, you can go buy a Tesla that's self-driving, but we're talking about not having pillows in The Sims 4. I would also like a functional clock. That's just more on me. I need it for story play because none of the clocks are functional, but I was reminded last night that the Sims 2 grandfather clock was functional and told the time.
Amazing.
Right?
I'll tell you what is really strange about I always go off on tangents like this, but you're talking about clocks. I was actually thinking about it the other day, the fact that like there isn't like a digital alarm clock to go on like the bedside tables.
Yes.
Yeah, strange, but just an observation.
But like,
yeah,
but
I always struggle with what goes beside like the bed. I'm like, I've got another plant on there. Like, I want little bits.
Same plant on both sides because otherwise the pots don't match.
Right? Like I always put the clock. I always put the ugliest clock, the one that looks like it's like this, and it has like the time face, and it's like so small and ugly. Yeah, that. And also, I like to say the story. So obviously, I have plants behind me as my flowers, but I have plants all over my house. I don't have a green thumb. If you ask me right now, Stas, do you have plants in your house? I'd be like, no. As I'm staring at 6 over there, there's a giant one over there. So, but in my house in The Sims, every fucking corner has a plant. Like there's like, it's like literally plants like everywhere. Are you guys the same way when you build? No. Well, I know Artie, I don't know. But if you were to decorate a living room, would you how many plants would you include?
One.
One. Okay. That is a reasonable response because that's what you would actually have, not a plant in the corner, a plant on every single table, a plant near the TV, fucking plants, hanging plants. Let's just have those hanging, right? Oh my goodness. Okay. So the next question, what do you think makes a good building kit or pack?
Variety.
Yes, definitely variety.
I don't mean variety within the pack, but I mean from the existing content, because we've seen a few times where they've released stuff that will go with base game, which is fine, but to have sort of more specific, and they have been a lot better with it, especially with country living, to make it feel a bit more English, as it were, and it's nice to see that bit of representation. But yeah, just a bit more variety in all types of design.
Okay.
I agree with Rory because actually, me and Sarina, we were talking about this. I think after they released the Oasis pack, that we need some kind of like Asian, not East Asian pack, like Southeast Asian pack, not island living, because people tend to mistake us with island living. I mean, yeah, I live in the archipelago country, so basically it's an island everywhere, but it doesn't look like island living. it looked like a mess, but I don't know. I just want something more Southeast Asian or maybe African pack, something different, because I think we have a lot of Western built Western world. I think we already have a lot of them, so it will be good if we have like another expansion pack for these Asian people or something. Or India have a really great architecture. Oh, yeah, I think so. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well, like just things like, what we have in Debug when we try and like the planks of wood that there's only really two colors. There's like a grayish brown or there's like a reddish brown, like just swatches of like planks or like blocks, just for like us guys, people that use tool and stuff like that. Like I just love bits like that because sometimes you're quite limited when you want to build something. And I think spiral staircases as well for builders. We need, I mean, I can build them, but they're not functional. And I'm kind of moving on from like, I try and want to make it functional because I like putting it on the gallery and stuff. And then I feel like, oh my God, someone's going to download it. And I think the sim can't go anywhere. So yeah, spiral staircases would be like a good benefit for us, I think.
But Paul, do you get annoyed when someone asks you, is it functional?
Sometimes, I mean, I don't get annoyed, but I mean, that's just them probably not I mean, anyone else, like any of us guys would look at something and know if it's functional or not, right? So yeah, some people are like, is it? I'm like, no, I'm not as talented as like CC creators, unfortunately, where they probably like just teleport or something. I kind of make
because I remember messaging you about your your London house that you built, and I was like, because I'd never really used Tool before, I'd never even heard of it, and I just messaged Paul saying like, how did you do that? And then he told me to look at Tool, so I have done now.
Tool's great. People are scared of it. Like some people are like, oh my God,
I'm still scared of it.
It's a godsend tool.
Okay. Panda builds. What would your dream build kit or pack would be?
I agree with RD because we really lack in African or Asian culture inspired builds and packs because I understand EA is American company and America is the most represented because that's what's most familiar to them, as well as Western Europe, and that's all represented. We have English words, we have German words. I think Windenburg is German, if I'm correct, inspired, and I like those words. And now we have Tartosa, And I really like the combination of Italy and Spain and a little bit of Greece. I would personally like it much better if it had much more Greek inspiration in it. But I think we would really need something which is more African and Asian inspired, because we have like Snowy Escape that is strictly Japanese, and Moroccan Kit, and I think that's it. That's inspired by those parts of the world, and it's those countries are very, very versatile. There is so many different cultures and stuff, and I think it's hard to get them all in one expansion. But it would be really nice if we had something like that.
I couldn't agree with you more. Now, I'm going to say this, and again, don't hate what I'm about to say. I hope, like, I want these different ethnicity packs, but I don't want them as a pack. I want them as an expansion. I want the world to grow with them. The problem I'm having with EA right now, I mean, besides they're money hungry and, ruin everything they touch, is they're doing these kits and are just basically saying like, oh, look, we're starting to do different cultures, but we're only releasing them as kits. I think they're just like checking the boxes that they're being inclusive, but they're not actually they're playing it really safe. I really wish that they would, like, all these kits that they're doing have worlds to go with them. I think that's really missing. I think the thing is like EA is American and no one on this call is American. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, I deal with Americans all the time and they are so fucking proud to be American. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the thing is they have a hard time scoping other countries and understanding it. So like what I'm so concerned of, and you can vouch if you're right or wrong with me, as I feel like if EA was going to take on an Indian world or a South Asian world or an African world, that they would somehow fuck it up because it wouldn't be appropriate somehow. Like something would just be missing, or it would just be so stereotypical. Like that's what I'm the most concerned of. We would need to have people of those cultures in the room to have those decisions being made. If they're not in the room, like we're going to see like stereotypical, like Indian or villages or stereotypical African villages, which may not be their true representation of what it is. And that's the whole point of Sims, is to be able to create yourself and to create the world around you. Like something I always joke about is I would love a Canada world, because I shit my pants anytime I see anything in Canada being filmed, because like a lot of stuff is filmed in Toronto. Like if you're filming like a scene in New York, you're probably filming it in Toronto because it looks very similar to Times Square, which is our Yonge and Dundas. But like I've joked with other Canadian simmers that it would be a snow world with igloos and stuff like that. But that's not a true representation of Canada. It's just a stereotype of what the world thinks we are. Does that make sense?
I think Henford and Bagley's a bit of a stereotype for the UK though, because like everywhere's
you
like
mean
that.
You don't live on a farmhouse, Paul? with llamas and cows walking in the back garden.
Right? Right? It's all like I want some more realistic aspect to it. Like think of like
I guess what is difficult as well is obviously they've got their base game, which is very, very Western focused.
Yes.
And then anything additional to that is going to be paid content, which also doesn't seem fair because it isn't representative.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, I think as well, like when you kind of look at when all the worlds come out, it was all very American. Strangerville's based on Arizona and list goes on. And then obviously now they've started to reach across the pond. I think it all just depends on Sims 5, because if Sims, to make enough worlds to make everyone happy, Sims 5 is going to have to come out in like 10 years or something. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I just hope there's going to be more for Sims 5, because I think we're just running out of time for them to create.
I suppose there's just the sort of expectation now as well, isn't there? That there is, especially with how the world is at the moment, just to be represented makes you feel included. Which
I'd rather them take away half of the worlds they've created, like based on the US, and replace those with like different, so everyone has like one kind of place, you know, because it is kind of like, and to be fair, the base game worlds aren't that great, to be fair. Like the one that's like the shopping plaza one, even Newcrest, do you know what I mean? It's just pretty basic compared to like what they're doing with worlds now, like Henford on Bagley, Tartosa, like absolutely stunning. So I'd like them to completely refresh those initial ones and just maybe completely change them into something else, like, you know, with fairer representation around the world.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Again, fair representation. I hope, to be honest with you, I really hope Sims 5 comes out like 10 years from now, because they need more time. Because like, what's not like, I didn't play Sims 4 when it first came out because I think I was in college. So I picked it up after everything had been fixed. If the Sims 5 comes out and it's broken, which we all know it's going to be, I think it's going to ruin people from playing The Sims moving forward. I think they really need to play it right. And the thing is we know EA can release a good pack, a good finished pack. We know that. So why some packs are good and some packs are unfinished is mind-baffling, because they're rushed. And that's the problem. I don't think no one in the community is ready for Sims 5. I'm not. If Sims 5, they're like, Stassi, Sims 5 is coming out January 1st. Are you going to buy it like of next year? I'd be like, no, because I'm not done with Sims 4 yet. I still think there's more potential. I think at this point, if you rush it out, it's just going to be a disaster. Like you're going to have.
I don't think you'd stop with Sims 4 anyway, because if it's unless they give you a hell of a lot when they first launch it, if it's going to be a bit like a newer base game for Sims 5 where it starts again and you've got all of this content for Sims 4, like you're not really going to do anything with it until it gets a bit better, like more is added. But I don't even know what their concept is for Sims 5. So, I'll carry on with Sims 4. I just hope they don't like abandon Sims 4 and like, right, we're working on this all the time now. Like there's going to be no more Sims 4 content. I'm going to be a bit like, what? So
it's the same thing that happened with Sims 3, right? Like how many fucking packs are there for the Sims 3? Like I don't even know, because there's so many, right? But like,
funnily enough, I was talking to my sister about that the other day, so she played The Sims 2, but on the PlayStation 2, so like a long time ago, and a very, very basic version of the game. And she messaged me. So I like send her my builds like as I'm doing them. Just she's like really supportive and like really like she doesn't give me pointers, but like just tells me what I'm doing looks good. But she said, "Oh, could you do like a Barbie dream house?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Is there like a Barbie pack?" And I was like, "No," but I sent her the Katy Perry Sweet Treats pack one, and she goes, "Is this a joke?" I was like, "No, no, it's not.
No, it's not a
It's
joke.
a nightmare." I still bought it.
I'm kind of shocked that there's no like really big product placement besides Star Wars in Sims 4. Like that's not like a CC pack, because obviously like there's like a billion IKEA CC packs, like a billion of them.
You need to buy that Star Wars pack.
I'm not okay. Artie, we talked about it last night.
It's good. Like,
It's good, right?
If you like Star Wars, it's very, very good.
I don't like Star Wars at all.
What?
No, me neither. That's one of the few packs I've got.
I don't like Star Wars.
Hoovers, yeah.
I don't like Star Wars, but that is one of my most favorite packs.
Artie,
It's got nice clutter in it, Stassi.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: it's still a $20 bill if it's on
Very
sale.
True. Very true.
It's expensive.
Well,
you got any good debug
robot?
Artie, I don't build robots. I build like 25-year-old teenagers in a fictional world.
The debug is good, yes, Paul.
Yes, okay. Artie, I'm gonna make you a deal. If it ever goes below $20, I will buy it. Or
I'm looking now.
Or if I well, it's £20. It's different. It's 30 Canadian, like on a normal day.
Of course,
we start the GoFundMe.
Or if you guys want to chip it in for my birthday present next year, I mean, I'm more than welcome.
You're going to wait till next year.
I guess my birthday's like 5 months from I guess 5 months from now. Save the day. If you guys want to buy me a birthday present between you, there you go. Buy me the Star Wars pack. What? I'm such a basic hoe. Like the only reason I bought My Wedding Story when it like came out is because I had a gift card for this almost for the specific amount that I had to buy it with. So I was like, I bought that. And then I bought the blooming kit because I wanted to use up the entire like prepaid MasterCard that I got from work. Not the blooming kit, sorry, the industrial loft kit. It's okay. I only wanted it for one thing, was the wall chalk drawing. That's the only reason I wanted that whole pack. The rest, I'm not even going to use the rest of it. Don't care. I just want that chalk drawing for the wall. But anyways, Artie, God is my witness to 4 other people here. If it goes on sale below 20 Canadian dollars, I will buy it. And I will shout you out and I will do a video and I will attempt to make myself a robot. Now, please note, I am the worst builder on this call, so it's not going to be good.
I think I may have found it for $18.69. Canadian.
Where?
CD keys?
Okay, that one's dodgy because that's how I got Country Living, and it is so breaks my game. Like
really?
I can't do anything with Cottage Living. So I helped a simmer with marketing. She contracted me out, so I helped her, and she said, "Let me pay you." And I said, "Okay, well, you don't have to because like you're too sweet." And she's like, "No, let me buy you Cottage Living." So we did, and because where she was in the world, she couldn't buy me EA wouldn't let her buy someone a kit from in Canada. So she did CDs the key. It still to this day, I can't even use the lot. Like there's something with it that just breaks my game. I literally started my YouTube channel with the hopes of doing a Cottage Living Let's Play. And still to this day, which is 8 months ago, when I put Rachel on that farm lot, she still does this. Still to this day.
Sorry for you.
It's okay. Like I never got to really appreciate the land of Cottage Living. And even when I put like Rose Chronicle sets there, they still do this. There's something about me buying it that way it just doesn't let it. I'm honestly sometimes considering if I will just delete it and just buy it EA versions. I could actually enjoy it. So Rory, I appreciate the detective Sherlock Holmesness, but unless Origins, let me put asterisk here. I should have said that unless Origins has a 50% off sale on that pack, I cannot justify spending, especially the cost of living right now. $20 is like a carton of eggs, milk, bananas, apples, and bread for the week. Like, like it's expensive. But anyways, I feel like we got off on a really fun tangent. Let's reel her a little bit back in. Now we just talked about, packs and them being refreshed. And I know I've asked everybody on this call, but let's just do it for one more time for good old sakes. What pack would you like to see refreshed?
Get to work.
Get to work. Good man. I like that answer.
I agree. I would also like to see a refreshed base game worlds. I got the idea when we were talking a moment ago. Mm-hmm. It would be much better if, for example, Newcrest, because it's empty world, mm-hmm. you can maybe edit it like it was possible in Sims 2 to add some decorations around. So that way, maybe people could make it a little bit different. Maybe it could inspire someone to make their own place where they live, and not everything needs to be specifically American in base game, for example. That would be really good. And for Get to Work, I had to do a build for some collab, and I had to make like tailors shop or something like that. And I had so much fun making the outfits for the mannequins. And I never do that. It was really fun. And then I found out that if you have mannequins on your lot, the game crashes. and we had so much trouble figuring out what was the problem with my build, why we could not add it to the save file, and no one could download my build. And then one girl had the idea, maybe you can try to delete the Get to Work expansion. And when I did that, it started working. And that expansion came out like in how many years ago, and it's still broken. And we expect of them to fix the Tortosa.
Exactly. I feel like EA should know the motto now. If you break something, you fix it. You know, we're taught that as children, yet they don't seem to put that in practice. EA breaks packs. They should fix packs for free. Simbuildboy build, Rory, any packs you want to see refreshed?
City living. I'd like to be able to change windows and like maybe refigure the actual apartments themselves, because some of them are huge, like too big. So yeah, that's just one thing. And I mean, just a lot, because when I look at like build and buy and you go back to like the base game stuff, it's just unusable. Some of like the bookshelves and stuff like this, so bad quality, like pixelated. And I just never use them. It's just taking up space. So those they should really just refresh some of the items. They should just look at them and be like, yeah, like why would someone use that shelf or whatever? So yeah, just refresh the build and buy really. And world-wise, yeah, for me, city living.
Yeah, and then I'm sort of on the same wavelength as Panda and Ardi with either Get to Work or Get Together. I know Get Together is like a huge pack, but again, purely from a building perspective, I love the sort of Tudor style that's in that, and just to see that expanded on would be good. But yeah, I think Get to Work because I think we spoke about the Stassi. I think they included sort of like 3 careers in Get to Work, so it'd just be good to see more of the careers represented in that, like astronaut, for example. That'd be cool if you could follow somebody to work being an astronaut.
I 100%. I've said I hope it is 2 packs. I hope it is Get Out and oh my god, Get Out is what I've said. Dine Out.
Good film.
It is a good film. And oh my god, I almost said it again. Jesus. Dine Out and Get to Work. I definitely think those. What I hope as a chef is something I always hope for that they'd eventually do is when you're cooking the meal, you can actually simulate, like play a game while you're doing it and like chop the vegetables and like do that. So, like if that was like $100, I would buy it opening day and I would be crying because I know it would be broken, but I would, because like again, it not only would it teach you actual skills of like what in a like actually read a recipe and show like how that's done. It would also again teach you the kids who are like playing this are like, oh, this is how you safely cut carrots. This is how you grate stuff. This is how we pour it together. And like I would shit my pants if that was a thing.
Did you play Cooking Mama?
Yes!
Is this where you got the idea from?
Yes. Sorry, I've only ever played 3 games in my life: Cooking Mama, Sims, and Dining Dash.
I think they should incorporate. I like the idea though. Like, I mean, they should. It's Sims. Yeah. It's everything, isn't it? So they should. I like the idea of incorporating like smaller games within the game. I think they should do that, and yeah, it helps. I mean, the laundry kit. I don't know if that helps kids do laundry, but
okay. But like, what? Like,
they got to earn their space somehow.
But what if the kid actually did laundry, and then you had the ability to like teach the kid like how to fold it, and then you actually fold the laundry? It would get boring after the first 10 minutes of it, but it'd be cool to see that. Yeah. To like
those washing machines, they're broken anyway, aren't they? I don't think they work properly.
That's what I was telling.
Something like this.
Yeah, that game.
Yeah. 100. Yes, that is what I want in The Sims. EA's never gonna listen to this.
Sims.
Pardon?
It is in The Sims.
Oh, but I mean, like actually, like
Oh
Like,
no, you have to
yeah.
use tool mod. That's why you have to download tool mod.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So me and Rory had
Okay.
a very intense conversation because I told him I've never used Tool in my life. And I like broke. I know he's praying for my sim soul right now. Artie, when I build my robot for you, when I buy the Star Wars pack, I will download Tool so I can appease the Artie gods of my builds. Anyways, I gotta ask you this: what is the ugliest item in The Sims? It could be any item. It's like the absolute ugliest thing.
Every item.
Every standing lamp apart from one lamp. The one that has like the little flat bit at the bottom, and it's like it's really, really nice standing lamp.
The tiny living one.
Yeah.
And the cupcake machine.
The cupcake machine. Why is that a thing? Why is it a machine? Doesn't people know that it's an oven?
And the telescope as well. Why do we have to have a telescope that you have to sit in? What is wrong with just like a little one?
I think I read it somewhere that is related to animations. I think in Sims 2 we had a normal telescope, and it was easier for them to just like make your sim disappear and you're watching the sky or something like that.
I'm sure some sort of animation
but it's weird.
Looking at a telescope doesn't take them that long. But yeah, that always seemed ridiculous.
It'd be so cool if you could you could see images of the sky or something in it, and then like hang them on your walls, like take photos.
Yes.
Like not just a telescope. Like there's because we have cameras in the Sims 4, so have a camera on it, like take photos. I mean, I'm a big space geek, so I'd love that anyway. But
because I think if you stay in the telescope long enough, it sort of like just puts photos in your inventory, but it's not quite the same as sort of like taking the photos yourself.
Yeah.
And this is talking from like gameplay that I haven't done for like 4 years. So I might be. It might not be.
I don't play, so.
But being able to sort of like control it yourself and again like explore would be good. But yeah, it just seems ridiculous. Like say like cupcake machine, it doesn't need to be so ugly. It doesn't need to be so big. It could just be like an easy bake oven sort of size thing.
It does not need to exist.
No,
it definitely doesn't. Or again, you could just cook them in the oven.
Scandal.
I know, right? Like, oh, God be damned. We cook cakes. Here's it. We cook cakes and pies in the oven, but cupcakes have its own machine.
Mm-hmm.
Who was in the room when that decision was made?
You would need a skill building room.
You would need a skill. Okay, that's a fun question. When you guys build houses, do you guys build a specific skill building room?
No. Even though I've just said it. No.
I was going to say, I'm like, Rory, you're standing on a pedestal there. Okay.
No, I'll get down off my high horse.
Okay, please don't judge me. I always do. So I have a room that has the ugliest bookcases to ever exist because they're all ugly. I don't care. I've never found a good one that's not ugly. I always have a piano, a violin, and I guess it's like literally the junk room. So if I need them to do any type of skill that I don't feel like I'm going to cheat with, I'm like, lock the door, just go around the room and you're fine. I don't know. It's always how I did it. Like, especially now, if it was a build I was going to share, like maybe I wouldn't just throw everything in one room and hope for the best. But if it's just for me, oh yeah, I just I pack my rooms with as much shit as possible. I just feel like everything could be done in one room without needing anything. This is perfect. Speaking of rooms, what is everybody's favorite room to decorate? And this can also, I know not everybody likes doing rooms, so it can be outside, or it can be literally just anything that you like to build or decorate in The Sims.
If anyone says bathroom, you haven't got a soul. You're not human.
So
I hate any room that would be considered an upstairs room. So I hate doing bedrooms. I hate doing bathrooms. I hate doing like laundry. And I think we spoke about it. I like doing kitchens and living rooms and dining rooms, and that's where I take the most of my photos. So
if I have to furnish the house, I'm gonna do the kitchen and the living room, and that's it. But if I have to do a bedroom, I can't. I just can't. I just put down a bed and two side tables, and if we had normal clocks, I would probably use that, but we don't.
Yeah,
And,
I was going to say on side tables, they're just too big.
yeah.
And then the dream home decorator one is too small.
Yeah.
Yes. I want a nice in between that does not require a mod to get it to the exact size. Like I want one that just comes pre-made. Artie, how about you? What's your favorite anything to decorate?
I don't have any actually. I don't
Really?
decorate my house.
Okay. But like, okay, so
just-
like, what if you're like your builds? Like what, like when you're doing like one of your creative builds, like what are you the most excited to decorate or do anything with?
The exterior.
Exterior. Okay. What about the exterior makes you the most excited?
Can I change my answer?
Sorry. Yeah, you can change your answer.
I don't know actually. I don't know. This is my tips for any new Sims player. No, I usually only build the exterior. I don't build the interior because I only got like 2 hours a day to play the Sims. So if I have to do the interior as well, no. So I just use the pre-made rooms from the Sims. You know, in the build mode, there's a pre-made rooms, right? So I just use that room and then place it. Like for example, that disaster room, the one that the house that collapsed.
Mhm.
I don't know how to describe it. So the house was kind of like split into half, and then I don't know how to explain, but I just used the pre-made rooms from the Sims. I'm too lazy to decorate to design the interior.
I mean, it's a bit of a hard question for you, ID, isn't it? Because you just like you're probably the most creative builder there is, because you just make not necessarily rooms, like you just make so much cool shit that isn't in the Sims that you're like, oh my god, I without reading the caption or anything, like, I know what you've built, and it's just like not in the Sims. So I guess that's a hard someone that doesn't really build like rooms. It's a bit hard to answer for you, I guess.
Yes, no. I totally agree with Paul, but Artie, I do agree with your answer. This brings me to, I think, one that Artie will definitely be good at. Debug is the fucking hero we need to The Sims. And that I honestly did not know was a thing until last summer. I remember when first time I looked at Debug and I was like, oh my God, there's so much things in here. What is your favorite debug item to use? And it goes to everybody.
The wooden posts and the back of some signs, I would say, and probably plants. I think, it's the most stupidest thing, but like the plants are 10 times much better than what's actually you can choose and build and buy. So, which is really, really strange. So it's always just a problem of searching for it all.
I like the piers, the small jetty sort of things that you can put over your ponds. They're cool, and it's annoying that you can't build something that looks as good as they do, because like you can build one with a platform or like sort of a raised floor, but with the ones from Debug, they've got like holes between the slats. Like it isn't just like a continuous texture. It like looks like wooden planks.
But you can't use it though, can you? Like
no, it doesn't work. Is it functional? No. But it looks nice.
But it looks pretty. That's exactly
it.
Panda builds, what's yours?
Well, plants definitely, and trees. And I agree about the things that go into the ponds. I forgot the word. And I love the one that's broken. I don't know, for some reason that one is my favorite. I think it's from cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, and the bridges. Bridges are amazing, and I would love if they were functional.
Yes, I totally agree. Artie, any debug items that we've that you love that we have not talked about?
I think this is the reason why I love Get to Work Pack, because it comes with a lot of clutter items. You know, like there's photos, like Polaroid photos, and then there's a lot of things over there. So that's the reason why I love Get to Work. But I think my most favorite debug item would be the wooden plank because
Okay.
you can make everything with that thing.
I totally agree. I like that one. I'm biased. I have 3 favorite ones that I always grab it back to you. The destroyed whole buildings in Realm of Magic. They're god ugly, but they work really great for Rose Chronicles because it's literally meant to look like they are destroyed and ugly. So 2 birds, 1 stone. I really love the wishing well that came in Cottage Living. I put that in all of my fantasy castle builds. It's absolutely stunning. And then my third one is also Realm of Magic, the glowing orb thing that glows.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that one.
That's the only kind of illuminated thing that exists that's not CC.
Yeah.
Very cool. Because what I'll do if I'm like, because I built Sailor Moon Castle back from my Sailor Moon Club, and I put the glowing lights in between the rocks to make it look like moon rocks. That was the first time I'd ever used Debug, and if you could imagine, my little brain exploded when I saw those options. But like again, I wish the bridges were functional. The planes, there's boats, there's cars, there's all this stuff. Like I wish it was more functional instead of it just like, sitting there. I also wish it was just there instead of us having to show live hidden objects, show hidden objects. Like I wish it was just automatically there. And the problem I had with the blooming kit, and now that I've played it and I have the justification to say this, it's just debug items brought into the game. That's all it was. And we paid $8 for it. That's how I felt. Like,
have you, I know you say you haven't downloaded Tool yet though, have you, Stassi?
No.
Have you been on Twisted Mexi's site?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think there's one there where it all comes as one, but you don't have to enter any cheats for it all to come up.
Yeah. But again, it's super nice. But when it comes to console players who don't have that ability to do that, right? Yeah. Like, listen, I bash kits left, right, and center. It's for console players. It's not for us PC players. We download anything we want, right? I think it's just like, it's nice that somebody else had the idea to fix it. I wish EA would have fixed it first.
Yeah, exactly.
Is definitely the question. Now, I think this leads me to a really good segue to what we've just talked about, functional versus non-functional. I'm sure everybody on this call has built a non-functional room and has put it on the gallery, and all you hear is, "This is not functional," in all caps. For like, and you're like, no shit. Just saying. No shit. People were mad at me that my McDonald's was not functional. No shit. It's not. I built it to how I wanted to build it. They're like, this is realistic, but it's not playable. And it literally says, not functionable, used for storytelling only with poses. It's great, but the fountain drinks don't work. No shit, because they're garbage containers. Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. What's everyone's reactions to non-functional versus functional for you guys?
Oh, did your zero copy machine works?
My one?
Yeah.
I made a photocopy machine out of Debug stuff. And no, sadly, it does not work. Nor does my tractor, nor does my train, nor does my spiral staircase. None of it works. But that's the thing with me. Like, I was very much like, I'd want to recreate like a magazine cover, and it's just none of it's functional because I have to build things out of like the Debug stuff. But as I've kind of as I'm evolving, I kind of want to do more. I want to try and do stuff that looks really good, but is also like functional, because I want people to be able to download and play it. But at the same time, I feel like I need to do some unfunctional things because that's
what you enjoy as well. So yeah,
that's what really wows people. Like, that really gets me. Like, when someone says, "Oh my god, like, mind blown! How did you make that?" Do you know what I mean? That's what I like. Not like, "Oh, this house is gorgeous" and all that, which is obviously still really, really nice. But yeah, like, I really feel like, wow, I've created something out of nothing. And I mean, Artie does that all the time, right? So
right. I was saying to Artie last night, I was like, my favorite build he'd ever done was the donut bakery with the box of donuts above. I was like, oh fuck, he's come to play. Like he has come to play. How the fuck did you? I honestly, Artie, I'll sit and because like as a chef, what my brain does is I look at something and I see how it was made, and I try to take steps back to see start to finish. I can't look at your builds and I have no idea where you start. I have no idea. You could start anywhere. And I'm like, I think that's a wall. Is that the bugs? Is that a hat? Did he use hats as sprinkles? Holy fuck, he did use hats. Like it's just shit like that. It's just like mind blown every time I look at one of your builds.
Yeah.
You're welcome. How about you, Panda Build? Anybody ever scream at you saying something's not functional?
To be honest, I don't read my gallery comments.
That is probably the best thing with any advice.
I forget that part of the gallery exists. But I rarely make stuff like that, so I don't experience that anyway. But I made a couple of things, but they are not functional. So I don't care. If somebody is angry with something mine, they are more than welcome to make it themselves.
Hey, I totally agree with you. Like, again, like how I look at every build is the person creating the build had a vision to see how it was built. And maybe it's not functional because that's how the vision entailed them to be. Don't criticize them that it's not functional. You didn't build it. You weren't the vision behind it. You just saw what they wanted you to see. Like, no shit, a tractor's not functional. No shit. How is that going to be functional? We don't have tractors in The Sims. Like, it's not like Simbuildboy Builds is like, oh, I'm now a CC creator and I've created a tractor. Because that's different, because there are CC playable tractors. Those
like
are
with the tractor as well, like that is for me sometimes I like to do it both. So with that I created like a whole entire cottage with like a field and everything. Yeah. The house is completely functional. Like it's just kind of like visual aspects that you might want to feel like you're on a farm, you know. Yeah. And then bloody EA came out with cottage living like a month later with not a proper tractor. It's obviously like a fucked up tractor, you know, like an old rusty tractor that doesn't work anymore. But I was like, you bastards.
Agree. I totally agree. Which leads me to a question that I've talked to everybody on this call about: CC versus no CC. I like to bring this up to everybody in the Sims community because everyone has a different style. When it comes to CAS, CC is necessary. Like you have to, because CAS is horrendous without it. Me and Paul have talked about shoes a lot. Honestly, okay, this is what fucked me this week. I was my girls are running in heels, and I was looking at the back of the heels, and even some of the CC heels at the back. And I'm like, ugh, it's ruined me. Now I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it anymore. But
just to say, talking of heels, like, yeah. I mean, I don't even do castle or anything like that, but like there was no heels with like the wedding pack, like
yes,
for a bride. Like, why are there no heels? Like,
right?
They obviously think their base game ones are perfectly good enough.
At least they don't join at the back. No one ever.
Oh my God. But when it comes to CC, I've really started using builds with CC because I want pillows. I want blankets. I want paintings. Like I want these things that EA can't provide me. And I don't really care if you can't play it because I see that way. Or how do you guys feel when you build and you want to upload something to the gallery? Do you feel like, oh, I guess I can't make it to the true vision that I want because I want people to play it? Or do you try to make do with what you have?
I personally don't use CC, but I'm not fussed by it. I know that because I know that a lot of CC is there to sort of make things look more sort of like real to life, but I'm not fussed by that. I mainly just use the content that is given to me that I paid for hundreds and hundreds of pounds for.
I agree with you. And something me and Rory have talked about, which it's still fucks with me to this day when it comes to CC with builds is when I see English. When I see English on a painting, that messes with me.
So out of place.
Because I'm like, they don't speak English. It's for us. It's for us to see that, but to them, it's just gibberish. I'm like, that's so weird. I don't know. Sorry?
Too alpha.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. I like Max's Match versus that. Then I like alpha. Even for cast, I do run away from anything alpha versus Max's Match. But anyways, coming to we can't end this off without talking about the dumpster fire of the new kit pack that's just come out. This one is for the history books of it literally being a dumpster fire to start. First, it not being available in Russia, then it was, and then the
it's 12 not now as well.
What?
They've taken it off the market. Well, EA have stopped trading with Belarus and Russia today.
I think it's not just the wedding pack; it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, no, I mean everything. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's just the wedding pack.
Oh no, everything.
Okay.
But like, it's the fact that they were like, oh yeah, it's there now, and then they're like, no, nothing's there anymore. But obviously, understandable.
Obviously, yes, of what is going on with everybody. Going of Russia and Ukraine. I hope everybody is safe that's listening to this in the Ukraine. Our hearts do go out to you. We are here, all of us here. If you ever want to chat about anything that's going on, if life gets too rough, please come talk to any of us on this call. I feel like we would be here to help, but I don't know how to go from this conversation because now it's sad.
Sorry, that was my fault. We'll jump back.
Yeah. Wedding stories. I guess the wedding story pack is sad. So I guess it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a segue, but it's just been a mess. Like it's literally just been a mess. I didn't understand how broken the pack was because I do zero gameplay. If I have to do any amount of gameplay, I'd rather have a double root canal without any painkillers because it's just so brutal. So what's the problem with the gameplay with this pack? Like what is it broken? Like they're just not getting married? Like the Sims aren't sitting in the same spot?
What happens is when you want to, this is from what I've read and seen, like people posting videos, but like, because obviously the main issue with weddings before the pack came out was the fact that no one would sit down. They do sit down. But
okay.
They stay, they're not moving. Like you sit down, that's where you are for the rest of your life. Like, so then when they go to do other things, like they either are still sitting down, so you have to like reset them all, or when you can finally move them, there's some things that like just don't actually happen like at all, like cutting the cake. Like apparently I haven't seen anyone post where it actually happens. But I'm not even into gameplay, but read up about it all.
I agree. Here's the thing. You cannot find the wedding cakes in Debugged. I have searched high and low for those things. The only way you can get them is if you make them, and it takes 12 hours to do it. And unless you have a 5 gourmet skill, I mean, obviously you can cheat that, but it doesn't actually look like the photo of what you think it's going to be. It's a little bit darker. And I was just sitting there. I was like, you bastards. That's why I bought this kit, was for the wedding cakes.
And they spoil really quickly as well.
Yes.
You literally, I think I've read somewhere that you have to, on the day of the wedding, like literally before you are about to cut the cake, you have to then buy the cake because otherwise it's spoiled. This is what I read anyway. But
wow.
Right. Yeah. Like to me, it's so devastating because like we've all said it. We're tired of kits. I never want to see another kit come out of my life. As we know, there's going to be one coming out probably in the next like 2 weeks. So that's how Sims does it. Yeah. So announcement on Thursday, and announcement. So we're going to release a trailer on Tuesday, and then another announcement will come out and be like, and then the cat's coming out the following week. Like that's literally like, it's an announcement for the announcement for the announcement for the announcement is how I feel that EA is doing this stuff lately. Like,
and honestly, before that it's leaked.
Right. And then it's before it's leaked. Yeah, I'll literally get it. I'll get a tweet because it usually gets leaked at the exact same time. Every leak is always around noon because I'll be sitting at work. It's like new game kit leaked, gonna be coming out March 12th or something like that. I'm like, wow, That's a really
always the same company as well. What is it like Nintendo or someone?
It's Xbox. Xbox always. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the original. It used to be Target. Because they would before you would actually Target would get mailed the product and it would sit in the back forever, and you would have people being like, "Oh, I guess this is coming," and I can vouch for that as true because when I was a teenager, like in Canada, like we don't have like CVS. Well, I don't know what your drugstore is, but like ours is Shoppers Drug Mart, and my boyfriend at the time worked in the gaming photography area. So like we would get all the new games like a month before. And that's including like Sims expansion packs. Like we would get them like a month before. So you could go buy them when it came out. And I was just like, oh, whatever. Like we didn't have to sign NDAs or anything. So like all it would have taken now is if that was today, some little teeny bop on TikTok being like, guess this is the new expansion pack. Like, I guess just like that at that point, or its origins being like, oh, I see this is happening. But at this point, like, I'm so disappointed that like, we know that they can give good packs and kits and all that stuff. And then you see this, that's just like literally a dumpster fire. And like
I feel like they took so much time to create the world because the world is stunning, huge for a game pack, and I feel like they're like, oh well, we still can't get these animations to work properly, but they're going to buy it for the world anyway. If that world was more like the vampire world, like 3 lots or something, I wouldn't have bought the pack. I mean, because I don't play gameplay, like whether it's broken or not doesn't really affect me. But I bought it for the world, not the build and buy, not like I say the gameplay, but just for that. And I feel like Sims are like I feel like they're resting on that.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems very, very strange that and I think their actual wording was like a game pack to celebrate parties of love or something. So you would assume it would have come out on Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
And then it didn't. So it was obviously not finished. And then they were like, yeah, but it still needs to go out. And somebody probably was like, it's still not finished. And they're like, yeah, but it's February, it needs to go out. But yeah, I mean, like from what I've seen, it's basically every gameplay aspect of it is broken. The build and buy is fine. The builds themselves are fine, except the wedding venues weren't working or something. But I've heard that everything's broken, and it also feels like a bit like a micromanagement simulation because everything happens by clicking on specific items. So like you can click on the tea set and say, right, everybody gather at the aisle before you walk down the aisle and stuff like that. But that's just from what I've sort of read and seen. So I haven't actually bought it myself. I am waiting for it to be a bit more fixed just by the principle of it, even though I don't do gameplay. But yeah, until it's fixed, I'm not interested in it.
The world's beautiful.
It is okay. Yeah, the world is beautiful. I'm saying that is. Like,
I've watched people playing it on YouTube and obviously seen posts on Instagram. But yeah, I just not gonna entertain it until
hold out.
Yeah. And then I'll probably buy it tomorrow because we've spoken about it and I'm quite impulsive. And now, I've thought about it now and I'm going to be like, I'm probably missing out on something.
We've created FOMO for you. You'll message me tomorrow morning. Yeah, so I bought it before I went to bed.
I'll message you in 2 hours.
I think you're going to buy it when we finish this conversation.
Yeah, probably.
But okay, listen, maybe there is a conspiracy behind it. Maybe they use the idea that Russia is banning gay marriage or something. I'm not sure what is the real story behind the Russian laws or anything, but maybe they were aware that they are not going to finish the pack when it was supposed to come out.
So they were looking for a reason to postpone it.
So they were looking for a reason to postpone it, and they should took a month more or something.
Mm-hmm.
It is a shame because it's one like Paul says, everybody was really excited about it because of the world. Even from that reveal trailer, everybody was like, this is a new world, there's a lighthouse, there's a beach, like everybody was so excited about it. And then it's just sort of like the gameplay aspect of it, don't get me wrong, I'm sure the build side of it is functioning as expected, but yeah, the gameplay aspect must really sort of like dampen people's thoughts on it.
The advert was, I mean, like with the way they made the the ad for it with them like coming down the aisle and how everyone was like, it's just false advertisement. Like that's, I mean, was in a perfect world, that's what would happen. But even if they fixed it, I don't think it would look like it did in the ad at all anyway.
And I think even in the trailer, wasn't there somebody still stood up when the couple were taking their vows, and everyone was like, well, people still aren't sitting down. So.
Yes. Yes. No, 100%.
And I think, sorry, I'm just talking about now. Again, this is just from what I've heard. I think if you download the game pack, the wedding scenario replaces base game weddings as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So weddings are just broken now if you've downloaded the pack, essentially. Which is the complete opposite to what it wanted to do. So well done, EA.
Yeah, well done.
And radio silence from them as well. Like that's what just pisses me off. Like I'm just there's an elephant in the room, right? A big fucking elephant. Like address it. Like it's your pack. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Again,
I'm sure they're tirelessly working on fixing it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
They're not just letting the modders sort it out for us.
No, a laundry list has come out, but like I say, once again, like you shouldn't have a pack come out that's broken. Like exactly. Broken to that severity, you know? Yeah. But they have a laundry list out. But it's, once again, like let's see if when the patch does come, will it still be broken? Because that's been the case before as well.
I mean, all the patches do at this point is break anybody who has CC and just ruins their life for like 72 hours of being like, fuck me. Well, I guess I'm not practically playing. Like anytime I see a patch today, I'm like, fuck. Because then like my computer freezes and like all this stuff. And it's just like, can't we just, not need patch updates every time, or like update or do a big game update like the night before a new pack comes out or something like that, that would be great. Anyway, speaking of great, I got a couple more questions for you guys. I'm going to let you guys go because it's bedtime for Artie. You guys are probably dinner time. I gotta go eat breakfast. Like it's been a long, crazy morning. What tips could you give anybody who just wants to start building for the first time? Like this is their first time playing The Sims and they want to start building.
I'd say get an empty. Oh, go on, Panda.
No, my only advice is just start. It's all the text.
Yep. Okay. I like that. Simbuildboy, how about you?
Get an empty lot and then just like start playing with things, like play with roofs, play with walls, just kind of see how everything works. And inspiration is your best friend. So Pinterest, Instagram, watch speed build videos. I think on YouTube is a really good one because you actually see how it's being built, and this maybe will give you pointers on there. And yeah, that's it really for me. Yeah.
Rory, how about you?
Look at a simple real life house is how like I say, when I sort of like transitioned from building the square houses to actually building something that looks like a real life house, that was how I did it. And it's still essentially how I do it now. I sort of pull up 10, 15, 20 photos of the style of house that I want. And then I hopefully make something that looked a little bit like all of them. But yeah, that would be my piece of advice, would be look at a simplistic real life house and make something that looks sort of like it. It's never going to look exactly like it.
I like that. Artie, how about you?
Gonna say Tool.
Gonna say Tool. Tool and Star Wars.
Tool, Star Wars, and the UI extension. No, I think for me, measure everything by the window. If you want to build a one room, you have to. I think that's my mistake in the beginning, because I tend to go bigger, because I thought it won't be enough. So I went bigger, and then it looks ugly in the end, and then the house looks like, I don't know, gigantic or something. So in the end, I just put the windows first, and then I can measure like how big is that room will be. Like, yeah, I think that.
Or stick a bed in it or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm building a bedroom and I'm not sure like the size. I'll just stick any bed in it, like double bed. Yeah. I'm like, right, and I'll just be building around this random bed in the empty room.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's all great. I love the advice. I guess the advice I would give, it does not matter how many years you play The Sims. Roofs are fucking hard. It does not matter. I've been doing this shit for like 15 years now. the roofs are still the hardest, and don't give up. And your first couple houses are just going to be squares with roofs and squares and roofs. And then you'll do 2 squares in a roof, and then you'll go 3 squares in a roof, and you'll just got to keep going, and don't give up, and look at the amazing simmers out there and builds, but don't think you need to compare yourself to them, because you are you and you get to decide what you want to build.
The Sims community have recently posted a tutorial on like roofing. So anyone,
the ultimate guide to building roofs.
I was gonna say, like, didn't that literally come out this morning?
Yeah,
it popped up while I was looking for Batu in for cheap Canadian, but it's open on my screen now, so I feel like it's attacking me.
I love this. I gotta ask you this. Who are your guys' favorite Sims builders? I can answer this. Y'all 4 are on my calls. So, like, who are your guys' favorites?
Oh, it feels so targeted, doesn't it? Because, like, we're all builders. But I think, in all honesty, Anya, I hadn't heard of you before, so I've just had a quick scroll through your Instagram. Brilliant. Ardi, I'd sort of seen Paul sharing your posts before. And then Paul, I found you through Stassi. So like it changes every single day, but just everybody that I've sort of had any interaction with has been brilliant. So that is my perfect way of dodging giving a single person's name. We're just saying the community is brilliant.
No, I agree. The building community is.
And now you guys can't copy my answer. So.
I would say, like, obviously everyone on this call is extremely talented and amazing. I've had the pleasure of interviewing some amazing builders. I got to do the weekend builder, Juby Sims. My next question was going to be, have you guys been following her building competition at all?
Yes.
Juby Sims. Yeah, Juby Sims.
Oh, the ultimate
yeah, the builder game. Have you guys?
I've been. So,
guys,
I tried to put money on it, but I was like 2 builds behind. They're like, nope, we're closed now. No late starters. I'm like, okay. Guys, I'm doing a wedding. I'm in a wedding collab at the moment, so
there you go.
Their loss.
I'm a judge. Okay, I'm literally sitting there, and I am in a room with like the most talented builders as judges, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like I'm sitting here and telling you this. Like, the judges will download each room and like take a microscope and be like, okay, so that's the bug. They use tool for that. They used red shelf, and I'm just saying, like, well, it looks pretty.
Well, it's floating by 0.01. Like, take off the box.
Yeah, they're like use tool. No, it's incredible. Again, I love the Sims Builder community. And you guys are just fucking amazing. Like, every time I turn around, there's another amazing collab that my little brain would have never thought of, or a build comes out where I'm like, how did you do that? Like, I'm still like, again, when I build stuff, every single build is the exact same build, no matter what I do. It's the same stuff. But the Sims Builder community, incredible. You guys keep pushing boundaries, and you're only going to keep pushing boundaries as time goes on. Now, does anybody have any other questions that you guys want to ask each other?
Anna, can I just say that your lighting, how you do your lighting in your builds, is like gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm not sure what you mean, because I did not log into my Sims Instagram or my Sims game for like months. But if you mean the little lights in the corners, I use the GIMP for that.
Yeah, so that's
That's some of the effects. I'm not sure how it's called, but that was one of my mind-blowing discoveries, and I'm like, I have to include that in every single picture from now on.
No, really beautiful. Ardi, I don't even need to say anymore, because I always just give him praise. Like, And what you said as well, Rory, how like, you feel like you're improving and stuff, but that's the whole thing. Like if you go back, and sometimes I look at people's Instagrams and I go all the way back just to see how they've kind of evolved and changed. And that's a good thing about like Instagram. Like you see people that are like started a little bit later than some of us. I mean, I started later than a lot of people, but you just see how they learn, and you got to have passion, you got to love it. And just by loving it and doing what you love, like the amount of knowledge you'll learn and how builds will change. But yeah, I mean, because I follow Rory as well, and they just get better and better. So keep it up.
Thanks. I'll blush.
Well, guys, I want to say it's been an absolute pleasure. I was very I have another roundtable coming up in April, and this one's going to be for Cass. I'm also excited for this one, but I love building. Like I'm still a builder at heart, even though I'm too fucking lazy to sit and do a build for 20 hours and it just be the same build. Like I just can't do it anymore. So I don't have enough time in my life to dedicate to that. Like Paul, like I was telling you, like the wedding builds I was working on, like the flower shop and the bakery. I just released a photo of the inside of the flower shop because I'm like, that's as much as I've gotten done in over a week, because I haven't even touched the wedding side. It's literally, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just delete it. Cause like I have joint buildings. Cause like what I'm trying to do is like build out this like old school classic rustic downtown where like all the shops are like bam, 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 bam is kind of like what I'm trying to do. But like, again, builds are insane. Cass takes 2 hours because I was talking to Artie about Batman because I did the Bat and the Cat because a huge Batman fan, and anytime a big cast comes out, I will always try to build them in The Sims. So Artie's like, well, how long did it take you to build Zoe Kravitz? I'm like, oh, like 2 hours, and it was done, and she looked perfect. 2 hours in a build. I might be talking about the final room placement. Not built, not anything, just putting that extra fifth square there and being like, okay, well, I think that's good. That's 2 hours. I will say this, no matter what you do with The Sims, it is a fucking time warp, and it just takes time away, because I could be sitting playing The Sims. Like last weekend, I was doing Rose Chronicles all weekend. I didn't realize that it was like 5 hours. I was like, what? Like, isn't it lunch? It's dinner time? Holy shit. Like, where did the time go? But anyways, I want everyone to just go around one more time and just let everybody know where we can find your work. And we're going to start off again. I'm sorry, but Panda Builds, because you're on my right side.
Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, so I have my Instagram page, which is pandabuilds_YT. And I think, I don't think it is. My gallery ID is the same, like that. And I forgot to mention in a Simmer Spotlight, I have a Twitter account also, and the name is the same. But I did not log into it since December, so I'm really liking content there. But on YouTube, I'm just Panda Builds, and those are all of my socials.
Perfect. Rory, how about you?
Help if I took myself off mute. So I am only on obviously the gallery. So my gallery ID is Rory RORY 1708. And then my Instagram is the same. So Rory 1708 underscore Sims, because the other one is taken up by my private Instagram. So so that's me.
I love it. Simbuildboy, how about you?
Simbuildboy on Instagram, and on the gallery Simbuildboy, and also Twitch Simbuildboy.
Perfect.
Nice and simple.
Yes, you are extremely
jealous.
simple to like grab all your stuff, because like our Simmer Spotlight comes out. Obviously this is coming out mid-April, but ours comes out I think the end of this. I think you're like the last Wednesday of the month, and I remember, and I was just like, oh yeah, his is like the easiest to grab his socials from. I'm like, it's the same name, which I love. But
I was very lucky that it wasn't taken as well. I was like, Simbuildboy, like, I was like, oh great. Let me just. I think I'm on Twitch, but I'm not actually streaming yet. But I I try and just in case someone took the name or something, I was like,
No, exactly. And Artie, last but certainly not least, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. It's at rd.ptra. Twitter rd.ptra1, and on Origin RD.Ptra1. RD.Ptra88.
I love it.
Sorry, it's difficult.
No, it's okay. Everybody's links are going to be below. I want to take a quick minute, and this is going to be completely different. I want to shout out to all the Australian listeners listening to this. I know this is odd. No one on here is Australian, but my podcast is number 5 in Australia for leisure game podcasting. So as soon as I found that out, I was like,
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm like, what? I want to thank you guys so much for listening. It really does mean the world to me that you can be anywhere in the world and listening to this. And this was the whole point of me creating roundtables and Simmer spotlights. So we could literally get to talk to the people behind the screens. They get to know us, because at the end of the day, no matter who we are people. And we all have a different story, and I want to hear everybody's story. So thank you so much to everyone in Australia to, listening to this podcast. It really does mean the world to me. If you want to continue following me on my journey, please do. I'm literally everywhere at the same time as nowhere. I'm on Instagram as StassiJSims4. I have a Twitter page, which, as Simbuildboy said, I only took it just in case I became famous one day and I needed it. It's the same, Stassi J. I have a YouTube channel, Stassi J. This is obviously a podcast, Stassi J Unplugged. Please go check those things out. I have a Sim story called The Rose Chronicles, where I post 2 chapters a week. That will be continuously moving forward to the end of the year, which I'm very excited about. You guys, I get new readers every week, and you guys literally make my day when you guys ask me questions. They're just like, oh my God, like this is happening, or how the fuck could you do that? Stuff like that gives me life. But I want to thank every single person on this call for taking time out of their busy day and wanting to be part of this. And I definitely have to thank Simbuildboy the most. He suggested it to me at a Saturday morning, and I was like, this is amazing. And I'm very happy that not only did he give me the idea, but it came together, and I got to sit and talk with some of the best builders in the Sims community. I was going to say, now it got really quiet. So either you guys are like, oh, this is so cute, or you're like, this bitch is getting sappy, I gotta go.
No, you're cute.
No, it's nice. You just don't want to be like the first person to be like, thank you.
Or yeah, being like, I guess, thanks. Anyways, guys, it's an absolute pleasure. Please go check out Artie, Simbuildboy, Rory, 1708_Sims, and Panda Builds. They are absolutely all amazing. They are great parts of the Sims Build community, and their light is just starting to shine. It will continue to shine for the rest if they decide to. So again, thank you guys so much for being here today. And I want to wish you guys the best of luck moving forward, and have a great rest of your day. Okay.
Thank you, Stassi.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.